Okay, so I'm just going to go a bit further into stairs and railings particularly, because they're very closely related, and they're the same kind of object in that they're both system families. So again, I won't go too far into this, but just to give you a very basic idea, the walls, floors, ceilings, roofs, and then again stairs and railing tools in Revit are all done with these things called system families. And I might just click on one of those options, like say stairs, so that you can see what I mean. If I go to edit type, you can see there at the top there for the family it says it's a system family. I'll cancel that before I make a stair, and I'll show you a wall. When we go to edit type, is also a system family. And again, very simply it means that by putting in different values for the properties of these families, we can get the different kinds of objects we need. Whereas the others, again, doors, windows, your general components, they're all, let's say, loadable families for now. And that basically means that there's a bit more setup for them to get the different kinds of objects you need. And usually that's going to involve some modelling to create the different shapes you need. And it's quite different to what we're going to look at in a second, which is railings, where again you have a lot of different values. So by setting different, oops, bad example, let's get another one. So by setting different values for things like the railings, that's even still a bad example. Let's get another one. Where's one with the railing? Yeah, well, another one with the railing. I've been playing with these, so they've lost a lot of the railing properties, but the baluster properties as well you can see there. So we've got these different settings for the balustrade, and it means essentially we don't have to go and model all those different parts to get the object that we need. So essentially that's what a system family is. It's something that's defined mostly with properties, and that's a good thing. It will automatically create things like railings, and that's really useful. So if you look at the railing that I've got here, that's not the one I want to show you, so I'll set this back to a different kind of stair, and then we can put a railing on there. Again, I've been experimenting with these, so maybe I'll make it a concrete one. There we go, so it's looking a bit more normal. And then the railings, yeah, let's get this ugly one, that'll do, can give you a lot of this automatically generated geometry based on a series of properties. And I'll show you some of these properties in a second, but what I want to show you first is how you can then still load these kinds of families, because they're very different to the others. So doors, windows, and again, components will give you this option to load a family. And you can browse to your library and load them in. So if we get furniture, for example, you simply load that, and I'll get this ugly chair, and place it where we want. You still have parameters that you can adjust, of course. But I'll put this there, get rid of it later. Okay, so if you select the chair, or a lot of other families that are loaded, when you go to edit type, you will see properties, and you'll find that you can add your own properties or parameters, and that's really useful. System families don't work in that way. So I just want to make that clear, that these families, like doors, windows and components, can be loaded with load family, or you can go to the insert tab and you can load families there without needing to know the category as well. And that can be useful. So load family, and you can go through and load anything you need, and not worry about getting that error message saying that you can't place certain kinds of families. So it's really clear that you've got that distinction between the loadable families and then again the system families. So again, if we go to say a wall, there's no load family button. And again, if I go to stair, no load family. Press away. And the same with railings. Again, no load family. So people sometimes think, well, there's no library for those things, but there is. So the secret to getting those is, instead of trying to load them, just go to the File menu and then click where it says Open. Don't choose any of the options from the sub-menu, just click right where it says Open there on the menu, and then browse to this folder I'm going to show you in any of the default libraries. So I can go metric library or the Revit library, doesn't matter. And then you're trying to find sample files. And so they give you this with the program when you install Revit. It adds this folder so they can give you these basic railings, stairs, fences are just railings as well to set up for for fences, and you've got a few other kinds of system families there. So the one we want is railings. Just double click, and there we are. So you've got all of these basic railing types. Yeah, so really useful. And so to use them, you just need to find the one you want. So let's say I want this one, and then copy to clipboard. So once you've done that, you can switch back to the file where you want to use it, and then on the Modify tab, click Paste, and then don't worry about this message about duplicate types, just click OK, and then place it anywhere. Doesn't matter where. Right, because I don't want to use that particular railing. I'm going to delete it in a minute. I'll just leave it there for now. And now I can select any other railing that I've made previously, and in the list there, choose the name of the one that I've just pasted. Right, so there's the new railing type, and you can do the same with the other one. Yep. Now, with stairs, they won't all work perfectly with every stair shape, which is annoying, but you can make them work. So, well, maybe I'll decide though that one is a bit too fiddly for this staircase. So I'll go back to the file, and I've got a few too many views open, so this is the one I want. So maybe I'll try another one. So maybe this one's simpler. You can't do, unfortunately, you can't use railings like that anymore in most cases. You know why this railing? Exactly. Yeah, they've got the horizontal bars, so yeah, the kids thing is a big problem. That's one of the reasons. So you need to have vertical balusters. If you know why you need when you need vertical balusters.
Because you can't put your feet on it.
Oh yeah, there's that. But you're right about the kids. So it's the kids thing. Yeah, that's right. So they can't fall through. But when do you need it? So do you think all balustrades have that issue? It's only when they're above exactly the height. So if they're 4 metres, yeah. So you need a balustrade when it's above 1 metre with a fall, but they can still be horizontal above a metre. But it's when they're 4 metres above the thing below that you can't have the horizontal bars anymore, because they can climb up and jump over, and they do. There was a really sad case not long ago where a kid did that, and well, there's another one actually in the city as well. So yeah, so these sorts of balustrades can't be used for heights over 4 metres, and then so you have to use the vertical ones usually, or make it solid. And then these others, the one I was just showing you, they can't be used at all anymore because the gap's bigger than 125. And again, it's all to do with kids. That's the size of a baby's head, in theory, 125 mil. So the gap's too big. I think you can still use them in industrial applications a little bit, but even there, it's becoming harder. So yeah, so just watch out for that. So maybe I'll get this one, because I'm not above 4 metres, so I'll be okay to use this. So again, copy clipboard, and then we'll go to here, and then again, paste, and OK, and I'll just place it to one side, anywhere, doesn't matter. And now I can choose my previous railing, and in the list there, here is the new one. And have you seen these things as well? This is another thing that's changed recently. Oops, not that one. Yeah, so this bit sticking out at the end, that's another thing that's coming recently that you have to do now. Yeah, so most public stairs you'll see have these now.
What is that?
It's for people who need the extra support when they're coming off the stair at the bottom, usually with, not people who can still walk but who've got ambulatory disabilities and things like that, yeah. Don't want to say old people. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it does. It's actually, yeah, a really important thing for a lot of people. So, yeah, that's right, exactly, that's right, it is, yeah, that's it. So that's why they brought it in, yeah, because people don't need it. So nothing wrong with it, but, you know, you've got to be prepared for that as well. But still, once you know that, you can get your handrails from that sample files folder, and you can also get stairs from another one. So I'll just go here again, File, Open, and I'm still in sample files, and there's the stairs file, and it's got all these basic kinds of stairs. Now you'll see you can go and change the stair properties much more than this even, but it's still not a bad starting point. So let's say we want to do a spiral stair, especially, they've got these good ones set up for spirals, and then some others as well. I actually want a more of a concrete one, so I'll get one of these concrete spirals. They work for straights as well, but again, they're set up to work well for spirals when you need them. So I'll select this one, and then again, copy clipboard, back to my previous file, and then again, paste, and OK, and I'll just put that to one side. Okay, so this is called, casting tray in place concrete stair. It's the same as the name I already had, I think, but that's all right. Okay, so that's my stair that I want to use in a minute. And so I just wanted to show you a few tricks you can use to get other kinds of balustrades as well. So with a straight stair, I'll just put one through, maybe just through here. Yeah. Wouldn't make sense, it's got nowhere to go to, but I'll just leave it there. I just want to show you how to make a solid balustrade. How many have I got there? 19. So do you think that'd be okay? No, we can't have 19 stairs. That's good, if you know that, that's good. So I'm going to bring it back to have less, and then I'll go and do another straight run to continue, wrong side, and get a second flight so that I've got less than 18 in each flight. Yep, that'll do. Okay, so now I'm just going to make a section right next to that stair. Open it up so you can see the stair from the side. And now I've been playing with my settings, so I'm going to have to go and just change something back so that it's yeah, let's just do that. Now that's so now don't worry, you wouldn't have this same setting there. So that's how yours would begin, with this support or stringer on the side. But you might have an idea already how I'm going to do the balustrade in a minute from what I just had to change. But I just want to show you a couple of ways that you can do it. You can use the railings, and I won't look. So you can use railings to get a solid railing. I'm not going to go too far into that because it's fiddly and it doesn't even work every time because of the way it projects the profile. I won't go too far into it, but there are issues if you try and make a solid railing using the railing tool. So what I'm going to do instead is delete those railings. Just delete on the keyboard so that I've just got the stair with my stringer. I'm going to go edit type, and I'll duplicate the stair. So I'll call it solid railing. Yeah, that'll do. And then I've got the right support type set to stringer 50mm width. And I'll go and then browse, and then change, and then again duplicate And again, I'll call this solid railing. And now I'm going to change that total depth to, yeah, about 1200. And I'll make it a bit wider while I'm at it. So I'll make it maybe, I'll make it 100. So I'm also going to change the left support. You can see there, the left support is still stringer 50mm width. So I'm going to browse there and then choose the new solid railing that I've just made. Click OK, and you can see then now we've got a solid railing both sides of the stair. So if I do a camera view there, you'll see it. So that works. And there is another way. You can model the balustrade as well using model in place, and that works really well for flat panels. But for spirals, that is that's not going to work. So for spirals, the way I just showed you is definitely the best way. So again, with the stair tool now, I'll just go and show that. So I'll choose the one that I was using earlier, concrete stair. And then I'm going to go to edit type, duplicate, and I'll call it concrete stair, solid railing. Then I'm going to turn the supports on. So this one, the supports were turned off, but that's okay. I can just go and turn them on. Closed is what I want. And then I'll change that support to the solid one that I've made. And do the same with the left support. So again, set left support to stringer closed. And then change the type to the solid railing I've just made. And then I'll draw my spiral. So I'll just set it in spiral. And I want this to try and be maybe in the corner here. So I'm going to click there for my center point, bring that out maybe a bit more. And then decide where I want that to finish. Just make sure it's got enough. Oh, now we've got a problem with this because we've got, oh no, you can do 20, that's all right. I'll say you can do 20. So there it's got 18. So I didn't make my stair big enough, so I might just delete that, and I'll just do another one, set it in spiral again, and make a bigger radius. Yeah, you've got to do that. And again, make sure I get my full 20 risers. And you can always use the arrows on the side to adjust the width. That's a bit too much. There we go. Now you can go down with spirals, you can make them a bit narrower than a regular stair. So bring that out. So I'll have a gap there as well. And there we are. So I'll finish that one. Yeah, I'm going to show you one little great trick with any stair. You can flip it. So here, I want where the stair's finishing, I actually want that to be the beginning. And where it's got the end, where it says up, I want that to be the end. So when you select the stair, you'll see you get this little arrow. Click on that, and then you'll flip it the other way. So now that's the bottom, and it's coming around, and that's going to finish there. Which I might need to look at upstairs to make sure that works as well, but for now that'll work. So let's get rid of the chair. And so now in perspective, you'll see solid set. So you can make little adjustments to get the base to line up properly. That's and also we've got this railing that's getting in the way, so I'll delete the railing now. I don't need that extra railing on each side. And so maybe just to fix up that bottom of the stringer, I'll go back to the stair, edit type, and find my solid railing stringer support. And so it's the structural depth on run is 150, I'll make that 180. Hopefully that's enough. Yeah, so you can see there, I just brought it down a little bit. That looks a lot neater. Just a little thing, and actually it's good to see as well, the materials. You can probably see that the material for the concrete there is under the stair, and I don't want that, so I'm going to go and again edit that, so just so you can set the material for all the different parts of your stair and your supports. So the supports obviously have their material property there, and to change the stairs, it's in the run type. So here's the run type, and I'll click there and then browse. And so you can see it's using this concrete precast material. So I'll hit browse, and I'm not going to change to a different material. I'm just going to turn the surface pattern off. I don't ever like to have surface patterns on materials like concrete. So I'm just going to click there, and to get rid of a pattern, all you do is choose no pattern in the list there. And that's it. So okay, 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 and there we are. No surface pattern. So maybe the final thing, once you've got the stair working, just make sure that you're looking at using the shaft tool to cut the void. So in the architecture tab, again, you've got openings, so there's shaft. So if I want to draw a shaft centered on this stair that I've drawn, do you know any good tricks there to start drawing a circle? You could actually, you could start with the line tool and work the centre out with that. You definitely could. But there's another way. Yeah, you could. So that would be probably the best option. Now think about it. So yeah, pick lines, and you could pick the shape definitely. But then there's another way. That's a great option, because you could then join that, and that would join the circle. So that would work. But the way I was going to do it is drawing a circle, and what I wanted to show you is how to snap to the centre when it doesn't come up. So there's a shortcut, it's SC on the keyboard, and then if you move over any curve, it'll show you the centre of that. So now I know my circle's centred on my stair, and then I can just snap to the edge, and that's my shaft. And then I'm just going to check the properties. So the height there is -150. For the bottom, that's too low, so I'll make that 100. As long as it's higher than the ground floor. And then the top constraint, I'll just leave that on 6 metres, that's fine. Tick to finish. So now back to my, which camera view was it? So back to my camera view, now you can see we've got a void. And this time, because my ceiling touches my floor, we don't have a gap. Now you can make those two surfaces the same material later, and that looks pretty neat. Or you can put a fascia over it as well if you want to, but for now just having the same material is fine. And that's it. So yeah, that should give you a bit more to go on with the stairs.
I have a question
Yeah,
about
sure.
the railing on the level one.
Yeah.
Through the stairs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. The railing for the rest of it. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, no. So, okay. So, looking at that in 3D, yeah, so it's good to think about that. So here you can see, yeah, so we've got the same thing. So I've got the railing there. Now at the top, I've got to turn those things off. So I'll just do that first. So they're in the baluster properties. So firstly I'll just go to here, baluster placement, and then, oh no, sorry, they're not. They can be in there, but this one, they're actually in the top rail. So there, it's got this circular 40mm with extension, and I'll browse there, and it's actually in, where is it? Extension. Oh yeah, here we go. Extension beginning is right. I'll leave that, but then extension end, that's where that one's coming from. So we'll go there, none. And then that's taken off the bottom part. Actually, we've got to go back, sorry, there's still another setting. And so again, back into the top rail, it's, yeah, got this extension length still on 300, so I'll make that 0, and then again, that's better. So now I can draw a new railing and connect it, so I'll better put a floor in first. So I'll just quickly put a floor over the top of that, those walls. Okay, so there's my floor. I'm just going to attach these two walls to that floor so that it's a bit clearer how the stair connects to that now. So there are a couple of options to put a railing around this floor now. You can just go and draw a new railing. So just using sketch path. And then I'll draw, you know, just from here to here. Finish it. And then show you in that 3D view. So I've got a new railing. And so this one here was handrail pipe with extensions. That's the name of the railing I used for the stair. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can draw when you're drawing the railing. Right. Yeah, you can draw any shape from there. Yep. So this one I'll just set to that same one, handrail pipe with extensions. The problem is it's also got the extension on this end. So I have to go to edit type, duplicate it this time, and there we go. And I'll just then go to here, and I've got to duplicate this now. Unless we've got, we've already got a circular. So all I've got to do actually is choose circular 40mm from there. It was already there. And that gives me one without the extension. So that does work pretty well. And then going to the other one, I could draw another railing here. For that part. I couldn't do them together. So let's get the new one I've made. Right, so in fact I'll leave it at that because that works pretty well. There is another way, but it's a bit more involved, and this is good enough. Doing it like that works pretty well. So yeah, so as long as you know that you can draw railings directly with the railing tool.
And you can just do that with the shapes that you're using in the front,
Oh yes, exactly. That's right. Yeah, spot on. Yeah. So when you're on that upper story, yeah, of course, around this opening, we're going to need a circular handrail as well as the one on the stair. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yep. But if you just want a solid one, just use a low height wall. Yeah. So maybe I'll show you that. So with the wall tool, if I set the wall type just to say the generic 100mm, that'll do. And then to make it a metre high, I'll leave the height there and then choose unconnected. And then make this 1000, and then I can just pick the edge of my, that's on centerline. I'll change that to finish face interior, and then I can pick the opening to put a curved balustrade. Right, so there's a new one, and I can bring that around as much as I need to. Yeah, I won't go too far with that because then you can see the problem there. We've got this stringer, but I'll have to turn that off, and you can do that. But for now, that's definitely enough to get you going. And yeah, it's good if you think about all those things. But yeah, just be aware the railing tool. It's very rarely perfect, but also don't try and make your railings too correct to the way they'd be built. As long as it gives the impression on the stairs and the other things you need them for. That's fine. Yeah, so that's hopefully enough for stairs and railings.